Welcome, everybody, to Words of Light for today. I am so glad you came to visit with me at the piano. We started last week from Mark chapter 4 and the parable that Jesus talked about, the sower sowing the word. And we saw how after everybody had gone home, all but the disciples, he began to explain to them what this was all about. So he said to them, he said, if you don't understand this parable, how will you understand any parable? And then he goes on to explain about the sower sowing the word. And when you hear the word of God, we went over last week how Satan comes immediately to steal. Every time the word means something to you, you know you have heard something wonderful. He comes to steal it. But we realized he doesn't have the right to do it, and we don't have to let him have it. So that's what we found out last week. We also found out that you can hear something and it can be joyful. He said, you receive it with joy. You receive it joyfully. It's written in this passion. But because their hearts fail to sink a deep root, they don't endure for long. And one day it can mean everything to you. You can think, oh my word, that made me so filled with joy, so happy. I'm so glad I heard that. But then the next day, something comes up and you forgot about hearing it. And it's because there's no root in us. And we have to take root, allow the word to be deeply rooted in us. If we don't, then it causes it to be taken away from us. It doesn't endure. We don't endure for long. And then he says, for when trouble or persecution comes on because of the message, they immediately wilt away and fall. I don't want to do that. I don't want to hear the word or read something that just captivates my attention, and then the very next day or a week later, I don't have it anymore because I did not sink that deep within my heart. And then he goes on to say this. And then there are those that are sown among thorns. It represents those who hear the message, but they allow the cares of life and the seduction of wealth and the desire for other things to crowd out and choke the message so that it produces nothing. Now, you know what? Every time you hear something that ministers to you, something's going to happen. It's just going to come. I have never seen it fail. That every time a word is given, you know that you just heard the word that God wanted you to hear. Then something comes up. Money problems come up. Things happen. You get sick. Somebody does something to you. And people can, that's apt to happen at any given time, any given moment. I have even been in the grocery store, and it would be like people was treating me or responding to me like I was in their way. You ever been treated that way? Sure you have. We've had people say things to us that we think, why did they do that? Why did they say that? It's because of the word. It's because you heard it. But because it's sown in times or at times when things are coming, things are happening, that we lose it. It gets crowded out. The word gets crowded out and choked. The message that you heard was choked out because of things that happen. Now, you know what? We've got to look out for things like that. We've got to realize, yes, I did hear it. And yes, I know that it was meant for me. Yes, I know that you speaking to me, Father. But I also know that I've got an enemy. And if I don't watch out, all these things coming in at me are going to choke out what I heard, choke out what I believe, choke out everything, crowd out, because money matters, our sicknesses, our people being people, choked out what I heard. But he has one more thing. And he said, but that word that is sown on good soil. Now, I want us to get back into that part next week, because if we do, we're going to see how to keep it, regardless of what comes up, regardless of what happens, or what anybody says. So won't you join me next week? Until then, though, always remember this. Every word that God speaks is always words of light.